Number one, we don't have a community.
Right.
Black people don't have a community. The whites, I can tell you 1, 2, 3 communities they have. Asians have community.
Hi everyone, my name is Chloe and today I'm going to be doing a reaction video to the Zeze Millz show and Pastor Tobi. I don't understand, even after that Panorama documentary, why has nothing been done? Well, we can clearly see the racial component in terms of young people, young black people being the main targets of this church, this cult, and why people do not care, from poorer working class backgrounds, low income backgrounds. So obviously you add that class element, you add the race element, and you have a subsection of people who are constantly overlooked, people that we do not care about their voices, all of that. But anyway, we're going to be doing this review, so let me get right into it and I'm gonna give you my live reaction. Okay, let's get started.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being beautiful. Thanks for being beautiful.
What has her looks got to do with anything, right? That could have been a perfect opportunity for her to say, oh, that's not what this interview is about. You know, this is a very serious interview and he's starting it off with a compliment. That illustrates to you that he has something to hide.
Actually, I'm quite surprised that you decided to come on the Zeze Millz show. Only because I would think you would probably stay away from my line of questioning and maybe the questions that I'm going to ask, or the fact that I'm quite, hard hitting. So I would think you would stay away from that.
We wish we had people like you to question us.
I would not necessarily say that Zeze Millz' questioning is hard hitting, and I think her style of interviewing it's good for like kind of, you know, the rappers, the celebrities, that kind of jokey, not too serious context. But when it comes to fraud, there's even people talking about sexual assault and all of these serious things. I would not necessarily recommend Zeze to do that type of interview. You have to do your research. You have to take the interview very seriously. From off the bat, this interview is too casual. It's too casual. It's too relaxed for someone that has this much allegations and like concrete evidence against him.
As somebody that's a man of God, because I see a lot of it, my friends, well, I used to go to church back in the day. I don't really go that much anymore.
Why?
I knew gonna, I put my...
See, she already, he's questioning her. You see how he's shaping what the interview is going to be when the interview is meant to be about him, not her, and it already is starting to become a conversation between two friends almost.
Some people will look at your lifestyle and think that you're doing very well.
See, look, she's getting there. I just think it's just not as, for the serious subject, it's not hard hitting in the way it needs to be, basically.
From church?
Exactly.
Even if it's from other things, but your perception is that your money or your wealth comes from trusting in God.
Exactly. So that's the problem with our community majorly. You can't just assume something. You find out.
Okay. People need to really criticize Pastor Tobi and his constant need to undermine and belittle the black community. Because let's be honest, that undermining, right, especially when it comes to who are the victims of his actions, the members of his church, you know, the ministers and all that kind of thing, right, they are black people. They are black people. So if he dismisses, he's like, oh, these people just don't know what they're talking about, black people are uneducated, they don't, you know, they're not smart, they should find out more. That not only lures people into the church because they're like, oh, let me see it for myself, maybe he's not that bad, but also it basically pushes those people down who have stories, who have been impacted by his behavior, and people will then start to look at them as if they are talking nonsense. So it undermines their credibility of their stories, right? So he's doing this. This is all part of his plan. It's intentional, the attitude he has about black people. And I find it quite interesting considering towards the beginning of when we first started to find out about SPAC Nation, it was that, oh, you know, our young boys, you know, they're carrying knives. And you see how the narrative, now that he's being questioned and called upon his behavior, the narrative is he's turning against those same people that he was supposedly trying to help.
Put it in a book, black people don't read it. They don't read anything. They go from suspicion to judgment. Whereas in this community, you go through.
Do you see the hold up? Do you see the anti-blackness? Can we just, as I said before, this is a tool for him, right? It's beneficial for him to have this attitude to make himself look clean and, oh, I'm not like those other people. I'm just trying to help them. The black community is in disarray. Respectability, respectability, respectability. He's using all of that. So he looks like someone that's just doing the right thing. I'm innocent. These people are just talking about me, but really I haven't done anything. Really, the black community has so much work to do. They should be focusing on that. That's what he's doing. And even when you went on Twitter after the interview, there were a lot of black people saying, yeah, he's talking the truth. He's right about the black community though. And he's tapping in to that pull yourself up by the bootstraps, respectability perspective, right? And that is the key part of why he's still able to recruit people and to continue to do what he is doing. Clearly this interview wasn't enough when we know what Pastor Tobi has been up to, but at the same time I feel like we were able to see the anti-blackness that's prevalent, why he uses that to his benefit, you know, how respectability politics ties in. What do you think? Like, what do you think about SPAC Nation? I think it's very obvious that, you know, when there's smoke, there's fire. Clearly, this guy's a fraud. Clearly, he's tricking. And, you know, the whole thing about the trap houses as well, where it's like, these young people are living in the house. There's so many different allegations that we could potentially get into, and it is a serious thing. And I think that a lot of people just see it as a joke. They see Pastor Tobi as a joke. I'm just like, this is very serious and we need to start taking it more seriously. So that's what I think. What do you think? Comment below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and also follow me on Twitter at @MayI'mNotMagic. Follow me on Instagram. I'm more active on there at @MayI'mNotMagic. Bye.